like each second like takes like a minute, it feels like. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh dang, I gotta get the show going. And sorry about starting a minute late, but welcome everybody. Ed, Infinity, Don, Ivan, good to see you. Donald, Brian, Ryan, Craig, George, Francois, General Rush, good to see you, sir. As always, Dan, Rosalind. Rosalind, I got an answer for you. Oh, I got an answer. It came through last night. Dun, 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 dun. Hold on 1 second. It just reminded me. Glad you showed up. Let me pull it up. Got a reply. And I'll link some stuff in Discord, but Coin Lion. And there's an interview with the CEO that my friend shared me. So I can help you. Coin Lion. And if they're not getting what you need, like I have a direct contact to help get you knocked dead square off. So Coin Lion, just Coin, C-O-I-N, Lion, L-I-O-N, should help you with your crypto accounting. So relevant for today. There you go, Rosalind. I told you. Told you I'd help you. And if you've used that one, let me know, because we have a direct line to the CEO of that company. So I will try to get you helped if it doesn't do what you need. Anyway, Alan, Gary, and Goose in the house. Lieutenant Colonel, good to see you. Rongamer, fixing those Teslas today on this holiday. Welcome, everybody. JB, ETL, good to have you. Chris, glad to see you as always. Doris, Cliff, and, well, without further ado, let's start looking at stuff, shall we? Now, if you want to chat with me, like all the fine people saying, hey, good morning, if you're new here, whatever, give me a chat, but you got to be a subscriber first to be able to chat. Click the link all the way over there on the other side. The monster logo. I guess if I swap back over here, it's right where this is. The little green button down here. Click that. Be a subscriber on the channel. A few seconds later, you can chat, ask questions, whatever it is that you need to do. Anyway, there you go. Define fixing. Well, not further breaking the cars, I guess you might say. Attempting to put them back into a condition to be on the road. That would be fixing. And I say attempting because I've fixed my own share of cars. Sometimes you have to do more braking before the actual fixing. Anyway, total market cap. So this is all of crypto, and this is TradingView's all of crypto market cap. There are different ways, different universes of crypto to try to account. So this is TradingView's. There's no centralized exchange. So that's number one. If you're new to crypto, rip the Band-Aid. There's no centralized accounting for crypto, period. Like when people talk about Bitcoin price, they've gotten it from some source. That source is an independent source of Bitcoin price, independent from all others. Now, I will often refer to the futures price of Bitcoin. Now, as you can see right here, I have two different Bitcoins listed, and there's two different prices right there on the list, right here, just right here, right there. Two different Bitcoins, two different prices. You may be like, what the fudge? What kind of monkey business is that? Every exchange is independent of every other exchange. All right, let's start here. This seems to be a common misconception of other people, is that crypto works like all the other stocks that you may be used to. And that's not the way crypto works. So every exchange, every place that you can convert your fiat dollars, your regular Uncle Sam money, or whatever country you're in, I got a $10 in my pocket right there. Whatever country you're in, convert these into crypto coins or tokens or whichever, then you got to go through an exchange. All right, that's what the exchange does. It exchanges these for crypto, and some people are like, oh, it's just digital bits, and yeah, but it's difficult to fake digital bits. All right, I silenced my phone there. I forgot my earphones, so my phone's not silenced. And hard to that's where the name crypto comes from. It's cryptography based. All right, the whole point of cryptography is to protect things. All right, that's the whole point. So you could argue that it could be faked with enough computing power, whatever, cracked, faked, hacked, whatever you want to, however you want to look at it. But it's incredibly difficult and going to take resources beyond. I mean, why try to hack it when you could just participate? That's kind of, the most calculated algorithm in the world right now is the algorithm that protects Bitcoin. You may be like, what? That sounds weird, right? So what exchange do I use? Let's pop over and talk about that real quick. So popping over to Coin Market Cap. This is a popular place I like to look up coins because, well, I like these centralized places. This one's popular and pretty stable and pretty good information. Now, when we look at this, there's 2.4 million cryptos. Let's just start here. 2.4 million. Let's see the up there, right there. That's I know it cuts off the screen a little bit, but it says cryptos 2.4 million. All right. Now, it says right beside it, exchanges, 781 exchanges. All right. Now, I don't know about you. I know of like maybe a dozen regular stock exchanges, and at the same time brokers, right? Now, exchanges and brokers are kind of interchangeable in this aspect. You don't go to the New York Stock Exchange and get an account. You go to Tasty Trade or Thinkorswim or Fidelity or whatever it is, Schwab. You go get your account with a broker. All right. Now, in crypto land, exchanges are synonymous with brokers. All right. Now, I've clicked on exchanges right here and brought up this page. That's what I'm on. When we look over here, we start looking at the number of coins. All right. Markets are pairs. Like US dollar, Bitcoin is one market. Euro, Bitcoin is one market. Great British Pound, Bitcoin is one market. So when we talk about markets, that's what I'm talking about. All right. Right there. Number of markets. Number of coins, though, is like Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the others. All right. Now, as we look down through here, Binance, 418 coins. Well, wait a minute. That's not 2.4 million. That's not even anywhere close to 2.4 million. All right. Where can I go to trade all 2.4 million? Nowhere. All right. So first answer is there's no one-stop shop. All right. If you're really going to dive deep into crypto, you're going to have multiple exchanges. Sorry, that's just the way it works. If you don't like that, don't trade crypto. Easy peasy. Now, there are some places that handle more than others, right? Like Gate.io down here, right here, 2,183 cryptos. And then they support a lot of fiat currency. Now, you may be like, well, I live in the United States and Gate.io won't let me have an account or whatever. I live in New York State. Well, you're going to have to deal with the confines of the rules, all right? There's all sorts of workarounds, but, sometimes we got to play with the rules that are handed to us. Now, MEXC right there, 2,327 cryptos. I commonly use the number 2 one on the list here, Coinbase. I haven't actually made a trade there lately. I hold some crypto there. They have high fees relative, but they have a good score. This Coin Market Cap does a score. Like, do I agree with the score? I don't know, not necessarily, but they have a score for, how they rate brokers. They rate Binance number 1, and their former CEO is in jail. So take it with a grain of salt. All right. You roll on down, Coinbase is a U.S. listed company. They're here. They have some high trust. Roll on down. I use this one quite a bit because they have more coins than Coinbase. And they add coins more frequently. Now, there are restrictions. It's not available everywhere. All right. I also use very commonly Tasty Trade. Funny enough, Tastyworks, Tasty Trade, they have a button. When you're applying, you can click the button to add crypto to your account. And through the same platform, they have about 20, maybe 30 cryptos that you can buy right out of your funds in your regular brokerage account. It's linked. It's run by zero. I think it's zero hash or something like that. But hey, easy, right? Easy peasy. And it's like the 20 or 30 most liquid cryptos. So if you want to buy a little chunk of Bitcoin, easy. Just pop on there, type it in, boom, you got your Bitcoin. Ethereum, right on there. Litecoin, right on there. It's some of the high flyers. Now, looking on down through here, we get all sorts of different ones. And the rating, you can see here, out of 10 is dropping more and more the further down the list we go. And you can show more and show more until you get all of the exchanges right here. Now, they only list details on 252 out of the 781 as of today, right there, 781. So it's a complicated place, right? Complicated. That's I'm not trying to deter you. I want you to be fully eyes open aware of what you're getting into before you get into this. And if you're already into it and you didn't know this, you need to do more research on what you're getting into before you get into this stuff. All right. Now, one interesting bit on here is the fact that Bitstamp right here, the number 16 exchange, right here, Robinhood has made a bid to purchase this exchange. Right there. It could fall under the purview of Robinhood in the next coming months, weeks, years. All right. So they've made a bid to purchase that entire exchange. That's interesting to me. I think we're going to see other mergers, acquisitions, consolidations coming along. Kraken is a pretty prolific exchange also. Binance is too, and they have Binance US. Like they have a US version and they have the international version. All right. So, one thing I've been asked is, if you're in the United States, how do you get access to some of these other exchanges? And I was talking to my VIP group last week when they were here in town, not during the main session, but during one of the dinners, and they were asking me, about some of the stuff. Like, I live in New York, how do I get access to some of the stuff? I recently found that one of the countries, or few of the countries, have a digital proof of residency. For like $100, you can go, I think it's to the Maldives, and get a digital proof of residency. So when you do your KYC, you can upload your little digital thing, ID, and despite living in the United States and being a U.S. citizen, you could possibly open an account at one of these that operates in the Maldives but doesn't operate in the United States. It's a workaround. It's out there. It's available. There are ways, why am I saying this even? Is because there's ways to work around all the restrictions. All right. Now, I'm not telling you to do it. Legality, I don't know. I'm just saying that is potentially available. All right. And Rongaber loves Kraken. So, to each their own. I hang out here a lot because it's like an easy button, right? They run contests all the time. You can click the button. You can throw your, if you got cryptos just sitting there, you can throw it into what they call crypto earn, and they actually pay you like a high percentage return on crypto, and they pay it in crypto, not in US dollars. I mean, that's pretty sweet. Making 5% return on your Bitcoin just for holding Bitcoin. I mean, that can be pretty sweet. I'm not saying that's the current rate either. So, they all have different pluses and minuses along the way, different platforms. Now, one thing that's interesting to me, you look at the volume graphs. If anybody sees something out of the ordinary, like LB Bank or L Bank right here, something's going on there. It's not like the others. All right, we're seeing a very consistent volume across brokers until you get to a few of these like this one, Probit. Something else is going on there with the volume. So, and then that one, OrangeX, something else is going on there. Volume's increasing while we're getting this dip in the rest of the market. So the charts can always tell us something. Now, if we go back and look at the main CoinMarketCap, it lists the cryptos, right? And we'll dive back into this is kind of like a getting started informational thing on crypto. And, sometimes when I'm going through this stuff, people hear things that, even though I've said it a ton of different ways and a ton of different times, I say it a different way and it like all of a sudden clicks. Now, when we were looking through here, there's a few notable things. Bitcoin, not just the ranking of the coins, not just that, but you can kind of see. Let's just start here. Look, Bitcoin is 54% of the entire value of crypto, right there, 54%. Ethereum represents another 18% of the entire market cap of crypto. And we're talking about this over here. Bitcoin is 54% of that. Ethereum is another 18 point whatever percent of that. Combine them together, that's the majority. All right, by far the majority. All right, we're talking 70 whatever percent. Math not my strong suit first thing in the morning. Need more liquid go juice. It's a monster. So we start out there, right? And we look at the market cap, $1.28 trillion. Trillions? Billions. 1 trillion. Trillion. Yeah, trillion. Get my commas right. $1.2 trillion. So that puts it on, when we look at infinite market cap, it puts it up here, hanging out number 9 right now. Yeah, 1.28 trillion. Silver, for reference, is 1.6 trillion. The entirety of all the silver in the world is worth $1.6 trillion. And the total of all the Bitcoin in the world, 1.28 trillion right now. Now, these have leapfrogged back and forth a few times in the last couple months. And right now, that's what you got. Now, silver, not to get too crazy, but silver may take a fast move to 35 to 40. And that's going to push the value of silver on up the chain. Bitcoin may take a fast move to 150 to 300,000. That's going to take Bitcoin on up the chain here. So value, market cap, all relative to what the prices are and how much supply you have. Now, speaking of supply, jump back over here. Clear this off a second. When you hover over this, you can see there's a fixed max supply of Bitcoin. And several other gurus I've heard for years say, well, they can just change the code and boom, you got more Bitcoin. And, how does that protect anybody's money? That is a very misleading and false statement. Yeah, technically, yes, the code could be changed. But the big but in this is that every single participant in Bitcoin would have to approve that code change before it happened. Or at least the majority. Like the majority of people would have to say, yeah, we want more Bitcoin. Unlikely to happen in the current environment. Highly unlikely. I mean, like we're talking about 99.99999% chance it will not happen. And if you want to be a participant in the Bitcoin network, just go download the Bitcoin software, start it up on your computer. A few days later, once it all reconciles all the transactions that have ever happened, you're a participant in the Bitcoin network. You have a vote. That's how easy it is to have a vote in the say. All right. Now, there's lots of people doing that, and there's lots of votes. All right. There's no limit to the number of votes. The majority would have to accept it in order to change it, and it's unlikely to happen. Now, everybody says, what happens at the end of mining? Right. We just went through a halving event where the payout rate halves for mining Bitcoin. Well, the rest of this, there's 32 planned halving events. We've just been through like the 4th. Whoa, that's like 28 more halving events. Yeah. So there's going to be 28 more halving events. That's like 140 years from now before this last halving event happens and the last Bitcoin gets mined. We should all be so lucky as to be here when that happens. So what happens at the end? We don't know. And it's unlikely that many of us will be here, that are listening to this right here today. It's unlikely many of us will be here when that happens. If any of us. Maybe we all exist as AIs. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we're all here and we're all AIs. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be like 140 years from now. It's going to be a while. And right here, mempool.space. You want to see the blocks getting, happening as they happen? Right here. This is it. All right. There is getting in the weeds on Bitcoin, but this is how it works. This is, these blocks are minted out and a fee is paid. All right, you can see if you want to see who mined what block, right there you go. You can see who got the reward for mining those blocks. You can see what pool. Mara, one of my favorites right there. Ant pool, Luxor, Spider pool. Notably missing in here, you don't see Riot, you don't see BTBT, you don't see Bit Farms. It's kind of interesting, right? Another reason, David A, why Mara is one of my favorites. And funny enough, Binance pool's on here. All right. So you pop back through there, you don't see Riot. You don't see any of these other smaller Bitcoin operations. Now, here's the blocks that are pending. Right here, you can see 190,000 people are cheap. They don't want to pay much to get their Bitcoin included. You have to pay to get your Bitcoin included, your transaction included in the block. It's kind of a pay to play situation. If you didn't know, that's the way it works. You pay money. The more you pay, the sooner your transaction is going to get included in the block. If you're a cheap sucker, then you're going to sit out here waiting while all these other people move in front of you. This is it's like paying the extra fee to get the little token at Disney World to be able to cut in line in front of everybody. Same sort of situation. If you're willing to pay, you get bumped up here. If you're not willing to pay, you sit in line indefinitely while all these other people keep cutting in line. So that's the way Bitcoin works. All right, to get your transaction approved, you got to pay if you want it approved anytime soon. Otherwise, you can sit out here indefinitely waiting. All right, now, lots to talk about, right? Now, the difficulty of mining, like this is one of those things, like Bitcoin is a commodity by CFTC, Commodities and Futures Trading. They say, yeah, Bitcoin's a commodity. Now, the solution to high commodities prices is higher prices, right? Like the higher the price, the more people are able to mine, create, find, grow the commodity, and then it lowers price. But the thing with Bitcoin, the higher the price, if more people jump in to mine Bitcoin, then the difficulty adjusts about every 2 weeks. And that's what you see right here. We're actually running ahead, so the difficulty is likely to increase on the next halving. And you may be like, what the devil does that mean? Oh, there was a block that just got hit, I think. I saw it there. And so let's look at this right here. We look at the hash right here. Let's copy it. Let's pop over and I can write it in TradingView so you can see it. Pan down, clean screen. Right here, I just copied the hash. Look at that. That's a lot of numbers, right? That's the cryptography signature of that transaction right there. I want to talk about the, hard to fake. This is hard to fake. Now, the difficulty is the number of bits on the front of this thing right here. The number of bits. Now, each one of these numbers is 16 bits. So each one of these right there represents a bit. 16 bits. So the difficulty adds another bit that has to be 0 on the front of this number to make the transaction work. So that's when they talk about the difficulty running up and down, that the requirement is the number of bits it takes to solve the block of transactions, to authenticate that block of transactions. So we've got umpteen gazillion computers out here guessing every second. When they talk about terahash, think about it. Megahash would be 1 million guesses a second. Gigahash is 1 billion guesses a second. Terahash is 1 trillion guesses a second. And we're on exahash, so and there's so much exahash of out there in the market. And you're like, well, how much is that? I'm getting there, all right? Hold on. Bit info charts. Another place to look. We look down here and look at there's lots of places to find 616 exahash a second is how. Think about that. That's a lot of guess. Like that's a lot of hashing. Like when I say that's the most calculated algorithm, this is why. Think about how many times a second an exahash is. All right, it's doing that calculation to try to guess that authentication for the next block that many times a second. And this is the pool of all guessers right here. So when Mara talks about how much exahash they have, all right, when Mara, Marathon Digital Holdings, and Marathon. They actually have their global fleet right here online. You can actually see it. All right, they represent 25.7 exahash. They have their max potential right now, and installed 30.6. They actually introduced something interesting just recently. They did a deal with NiceHash where you can run Mara's firmware on your own hardware and pull it into their pool and get a cut. That's kind of cool if you ask me. That's a way to increase their mining power without paying for any of the hardware. You pay for the hardware and then you run it and you get a cut. That's kind of neat. Anyway, that they just did that like last week. So cut a deal with NiceHash. And if I'm saying anything you don't understand, that's cool. I mean, I cover all this in my crypto power play stuff, but this is just a taste of crypto today. So just diving in, and usually we look at charts during this thing, and today I'm just kind of going through some other stuff. All right, trying to get you clued in. Now, why do I like Mara? The question always comes up: why do you like Mara better than any other of the crypto miners? Because Scout's Honor, I'm a person of truth and trustworthiness, right? Mara puts all this information out there almost in real time. All right, it's not real time. It's not like you can watch the hash rate tick up and down. But they sit here and they publish monthly how they did, how much, here's what we had to take offline, here's what we put online, here's the mining, this is our net mining for the month, this is how much we mined. They update that every month. You don't have to wait to the end of the quarter to find out how they're doing. They tell us pretty much every month. They do it as press releases right here. Yeah, they put out the mining for May. You can come down through here. And what other company does this? Right? What other company has done this for forever? Mara's basically been doing this the whole time. There's a couple other companies that are starting to do it, but when you give me all the information, I mean, look at all this. Like, they give you tons and tons of information every single month. How they're doing. To me, that's trustworthiness, right? We're not hiding anything. Maybe they are. Maybe they're stacking the bitcoins in the back of a old Chevy and they're gonna go hide it in a mine. I don't know. That was being sarcastic. But I feel like they're more trustworthy than any other mining company out there, and I kind of believe that trustworthiness goes a long way with me. I don't know about you. A lot of other companies hiding all their details. Basically, it's like one of my members said, basically, Mara's throwing it out there. If you wanted to know how to run a Bitcoin mining company, just do what they're doing. Now, the funny thing about all that is, though, most other Bitcoin mining companies think that that's their false. Like they're being fake by doing that. Like, no, they're putting it out there, but they just want us to do that so that they dominate the market. Okay. I mean, that's kind of the attitude. So be careful. Be careful. Now, this is BitInfo charts right here. And you can just see the info charts right there. BitInfo charts is what this is. And if you're interested in finding out more about the mining, you just click on the exahashes. There's the hash rate as it's grown. Right there. And if you want to see the payout rate, 5 cents per terahash. All right. That's per terahash, not per exahash. When you multiply that up, you can see the average profitability, 5 cents. So exahash is 1,000 terahashes. So you can do your calculation. You can find out how much Bitcoin, basically, Mara is making per hash. You can just kind of do the math right there. And there's the halving event right there. We did a big spike because there was a new thing got introduced on the Bitcoin chain and it paid huge amounts of money, but it ran out very quickly. It took about a week and then it was back down. And there's the halving right there. We went from up here to down here. And as long as price stays where it is, that's the payout rate for Bitcoin. Now there's some bumps and humps and things happen on the chain and some popularity and they pay out more with transactions. This does include those fees I was adding. The subsidy right now is 3.125 Bitcoins is the subsidy. We pop back over here, look back over here, we pop on difficulty, and we go to halving. Yeah, right there. You can see the new subsidy that's going to roughly occur in April of 2028 when the next halving occurs will drop down to 1.563 Bitcoins per block. Right now we're at 3.125, I think it is. And every block you get a reward. When you find the block, you get the subsidy and you get the fees. So there's the fees and subsidy plus fees right there. So that's why mining Bitcoin is lucrative. That's $215,000 for guessing that block. Almost 216,000. And it's paid in Bitcoin, so you'd have to exchange it. So that's why is Bitcoin popular to mine. Now, circling back full circle. Oh, right there's the up there in the bar is the hash number. Now, popping back over here. That was a long rabbit hole down why this is important. Just going to the number 2. Hovering your mouse, you're like, wait, where's the max supply? Well, guess what? The huge big difference between Ethereum and Bitcoin. Look at that. Max supply is infinite. There is no max supply cap on Ethereum. Well, that's a huge difference, right? Now, unlike Bitcoin, there is one guy that kind of pushes his agenda for Bitcoin or for Ethereum, and it kind of happens. So when he wants a code change, guess what happens? Guess what happens? This guy right here, Russian-Canadian Vitalik Buterin, when he wants a change, he authored the original white paper for Ethereum in 2013. When he wants a change, he pushes it through, and it usually happens. That's unlike Bitcoin. There's no central person driving Bitcoin. So this is a huge fundamental difference to me between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, there's lots of other differences. These have smart contracts and all this stuff, and Bitcoin's kind of changing its code a little bit to make it more usable for more things, but that's a huge difference right here. Huge difference. Is that there's no supply cap, and one person kind of drives the boat. Now, there's a committee and voting and blah, 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 blah. And I'm oversimplifying here, but we also look at the prices here. Something that has a fixed supply, something that has no fixed supply. Can this change in the future? Absolutely. Right now, this is what we would call deflationary. This one is in a deflationary regime, but it actually is inflationary when we look at the fact it has no max supply. And they're actually burning more right now. They're actually reducing the supply because they saw the writing on the wall that you keep adding more at a rapid rate that the prices are going to be suppressed. So they stop burning, or they start burning more than they're creating. But price hasn't really gone much of anywhere. Like, we're not sitting at all-time highs in Ethereum. So that's a big cautionary thing. Now, we move down to number 3. Also, we see no max supply. But this coin is fundamentally different than anything so far. Again, this is called a stable coin, right? USDT, USD Tether, and it's pegged to the dollar. The goal of this crypto is to stay at a 1-to-1 with the US dollar. And it hovers around pretty tightly. And people arbitrage it when it gets expensive. People sell the crap out of it. When it gets cheap, people buy the crap out of it and try to arbitrage it back to $1. And it has a whole bunch of other stuff. Now, again, there's no max supply because you can't have a max supply and keep it pegged to $1. It wouldn't work. So right now there's $116 billion of max supply out there, and circulating supply is $112 billion worth of this. So $112 billion worth of US dollars are also represented right here on this chain. Is it investable? I don't really see it. I don't see the purpose in doing this. All right, we all know that US dollars are inflationary. They're creating more all the time. Even if even if we temporarily try to decrease the money supply, the whole point is to increase the money supply so that more people have more dollars. I mean, that's the way the government looks at it. The more dollars you have, the more dollars are out there, the more money people can have, and the happier they are. And then we come down to Binance Coin, CZ, the former CEO of Binance, owns 61% of these. It's possible they go rocking and rolling higher after this pullback, but it's also possible that CZ dumps a bunch of them. So, also a question mark on the max supply. There's the total supply right now, and the circulating supply about 147 million Binance coins. Am I going to go through all these? No, but I'm just going to hit some highlights. Solana has an interesting bit to it. There's no max supply, as you can see with the hover. And the big thing with Solana is it has a much higher transaction capability than anything above it. So Solana can handle 1 million transactions per second on its chain and authenticate them and all that stuff. Whereas, think about it, the Visa network, Visa everywhere you want to be, whatever, credit cards. Visa can only handle 30,000 transactions a second worldwide. But Solana can do 1 million transactions a second worldwide. So much higher capacity for transactions on Solana chain than there is on any of these other chains. Bitcoin's limited to it's pretty low because everything has to go through the blocks. All right, all the transactions have to go through the blocks. So you're seeing, every 10-ish minutes, although that one only took 1 minute, that's 5,000 transactions. That's all it could handle. Now they have extensions like Lightning and this, that, and the other that can aggregate transactions and whatever. But it's a limited commodity to get your transaction approved and documented on the block in Bitcoin. All right. Pretty crazy, right? I've already been going quite a while, and we haven't even gotten into charts hardly. So there's a lot of information in crypto. If you feel like, I don't know where to start, that's okay. I mean, there's people like me that are out here to help you. But most other YouTubers are just hyping a coin and telling you to get in, go buy, and not really doing the service of trying to get you informed on what's going on. So if anything I say is helpful, like, you hear things that you haven't heard other places, make sure you give me a thumbs up, share it with somebody that you think might find benefit in this stuff, right? Now, another advantage of this website over others is very quickly, you can look at the chart for the last 7 days and compare all of these cryptos, right? You can see that Bitcoin and Ethereum kind of dominate. Like their two charts look very similar, not the same, very similar. And as we roll down through here, a lot of other cryptos just flowing with the ocean, right? The ocean, 70 whatever percent of the crypto market floats all the boats. Most of crypto tends to follow along with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Most of it, not all of it. Now, some of it takes a diversion, right? There's one, like LDO, not doing the same path at all. But a lot of them kind of doing the same pattern. Same pattern. So it's a quick way to find cryptos that are doing something different, is to roll down through here and look. Just look with your own eyes. All right, you can very quickly look through a number of cryptos. Now, this only has 100 cryptos on a page. To go through 2.4 million cryptos, you're going to be here all day, and then you got to start over tomorrow, right? So don't get stuck in analysis paralysis, all right? I tend to stay in the top 100 for most of what I do. Why? It's hard. How am I going to go find 2.4 million cryptos? I don't have the capacity to do that in one day without some sort of automation. And that sort of automation just doesn't interest me. I'd rather stay where the liquidity is. All right. Once you drop out of the top 100, very quickly, look, by the time we're down to the bottom, the market cap has dropped to $600 million. There's only $600 million tied up in that, compared with $1.28 trillion in Bitcoin. So very quickly, we've gone way down in market cap, how much money is tied up in that coin. We go into the top 200, and very quickly we erode down. When we get to number 200, we're down to $200 million. So how big of a market do you want to play in, right? These are going to be small cap coins. When we get down here, like page 100, look, that you with $8,000, you could buy the entirety of that coin. You could buy all the supply of that coin with $8,000 right now. So these coins, kind of junk, garbage. Be careful. All right, you may be like, well, I'm going to take my $8,000 and cause a squeeze on that one. Good luck. Good luck. There's other people smarter, faster, with more money than you. Gonna try to get you. All right. Now, people are like, well, how do you know these aren't just complete scams? I guarantee you, 100% guarantee, in this 2.4 million coins, there are some outright scams. How do you stay away from the scams? You go to the ones that have the higher market cap. All right. There's plenty of opportunity for some of these coins down here in the 30s, 40s, 50s, down to hundreds to double, triple, quadruple, 10x their market cap. All right. There's plenty of opportunity. You don't have to go down to the smallest of the smalls. Plenty of opportunity in here for crazy moves. Now, if you want to find stuff that's trending, they have tools for that. You can find trendings. You can find gainers and losers. What's the stuff making the biggest gains? Fed AI, Singularity. These are last like 24 hours. Making big moves. What are the biggest losers? Here you go. Jasmine Coin, Ton Coin, OKB, Monero, Notcoin. I got some of that. But the biggest down is only 0.32. Now, other places to look at similar information. You can come on to TradingView. On into their main products thing, you can come down here, the heat maps, and they have crypto. You look at the crypto heat map. You can turn it on to whatever time frame that it is you want. Year to date. I want coins that are up year to date. There you go. Those coins are up 3% or more year to date. They're sized by size right now. If you want them all equal size, there you go. You see Bitcoin's up 53% this year. Ethereum's up 55% this year. Binance smoking them with 91% this year. This one over here, smoking them all, 766% this year. Peppy coin, PP coin, whatever you want to call it. There's lots of opportunity. There's ones in here. I have no idea what that coin is. 700% this year. Do I profess to know it all? Heck no, there's way too much to keep up with. So if you're happy in the stock market with your 5,000, 6,000 shares that are in the regular stock market, stay there. No reason to come here. This is the most volatile, fastest moving market I know of. You can make money, you can lose money extremely fast. You can lose money probably faster than you can make money. Be careful. Be careful. All right, now that we're talking about making money though, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining, not a recommendation to be buying or selling anything. If you desire personal financial advice, hire and consult a financial advisor. In other words, don't buy stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, treasuries. Don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. It all involves a substantial risk of loss. All right. Now, moving back over here. Look at some charts. Delete this. Just delete the whole thing. Let's go back up and look at total market cap. It's kind of started here, right? We're hanging sideways ever since, gosh, March. We've just been churning sideways, but we're sticking above the roadmap line. Hanging. We touched here, tried to break out, came back, almost touching again. Probably going to do a double touch. Probably going to do it. This sets us up. That move right there sets us up for an extension to 2.8, possibly 2.95. And if we push up there, we're probably heading up to 3.5, possibly $4.3 trillion for the entire market cap of crypto. And you'd be like, well, that's great. That's going to be, 54% of that's going to be Bitcoin. Well, total 2 excludes Bitcoin. Right here, just Ethereum and everything else. We've done the double hit. Done the triple hit. Run this one right here. likely to come up to 1.3 trillion. So we're likely to add about $300 billion to the value of all the cryptos that aren't Bitcoin. Now, 18% of that, or 18, well, this can be difficult because it's more like 36% of that is going to be Ethereum. Because we're taking the rest of the market, we took Bitcoin out, the rest of the market. Now, instead of 18%, it's now double almost, because we took out half of the market, would be Ethereum. Now, if we exclude Bitcoin and Ethereum, right here, different story. This looks like it's going to go lower low before we wrap this up. Right here. Now, if you want to know, I'm guessing a move down to about $550 billion. Shave off another $50 billion of value. And then we're probably going to shoot up to about $800 billion. Possibly reach up to $1 trillion. That's a lot of money flowing into altcoins, all right? That's a lot. $300 billion just into altcoins. So those numbers don't exactly jive right there. A little bit of a question mark. Like, what's happening here? What's happening? Now, Bitcoin sure does look like it wants to reach down for this. We missed it right over here. Sure does look like it wants to reach down. I mean, it really does. Really does, really strongly. Ethereum, that really looks like it wants to reach down right there to 3,200. Really does. Lower high and weakness and sitting right there on a flip point. Got to be careful. Now you may be like, well, where's the earnings and this, that, and the other? That's one of the beauties in playing in currency markets. And crypto is basically a currency market. It works a lot like Forex. This one did that lower move right there, just like I was saying on Total 3. Ethereum Classic, that's a pretty sweet move. 3-wave down, 3-wave up, and a final flush. This one, probably going to wrap this move up and present an opportunity. Might come down here. Why has JT got an alert at 19? Because, well, that's where it might come down and find a bottom. We do that, we turn and burn. That one could be an outsized upside potential. Break back through 30, possibly 40, 48, possibly 62. Nice potential. Nice potential. Now, what are the differences between Ethereum and Classic and Ethereum? That's why I've started out over here talking about going through them all. You can go look at, where's Ethereum Classic on here? Right there. We can go look at it. We can go see it has a fixed supply. That's interesting, right? That's a big key difference between Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. There is a max supply. Circulating supply, about 70% of the max supply. That's some fundamental differences, all right? This is what they call a fork. This used to be part of Ethereum, and it forked off years ago. So there's fundamental differences. But one of the most biggest difference here, price. That one's only worth $23 a coin, whereas Ethereum's worth $3,500 a coin. So popularity plays into this a lot also. Sentiment. This whole thing about price patterns, it's the most purest form of sentiment. People vote with their dollars. You can see right there, the sentiment shows up in the charts. No other truth in the market besides price and volume. Price and volume, the ultimate truth in the market. If you thought it was something else, you thought news or earnings or whatever was the truth in the market, hate to tell you, there's no other truth in the market but price and volume. How much are people willing to spend? And how much are they willing to transact? And what price are they willing to pay? How much are they willing to push? It's the only truth in the market. And if you're trying to get anything else out of this, good luck. All right, good luck. Price patterns tell you the truth. Now, there's lots of other cryptos in the list. Way too many for me to go through during this session. This is what I do during Crypto Power Plays. Every week, I go through every one of these tickers on this list, give you an update, kind of my thoughts on where it's headed, likely to head, and if you're interested in that sort of thing, call my team, 321-888-3962. But this isn't a sales pitch, all right? So, just giving you a taste of crypto today here on this market close day. Now, some stuff looks kind of bad. Like this one, probably gonna, if we get below this resistance right here, support, support's underneath us. We get below the support, we could come on down. Solana, holding up really well. Actually hit the roadmap line, just like what I expect Bitcoin and Ethereum to do. This one's front running. Could this take off early? Absolutely. This one could be starting to take off while Bitcoin and Ethereum still finishing their corrections. Possible targets, 440, 689, possibly $2,200. Right there on Solana. Huge opportunity. That one's been around a while, though. It's been around. Something new. Some of the newer ones. Peppy coin, right? It's already made a move up, did a big correction, starting on the next move. So if you looked at it like this, like that was the first initial move. This move that we're in right now should take us up to here. We pull back and correct again, and then do a finality move. Now, it doesn't have to stop here. It could easily run right on up here, too, on this move that we're in right now. Off of this initial, this is just projection of the initial move. Initial move up. You're like, you're talking crazy talk here. Well, hold on a second. We'll go. Now, if it moved up to here, did the correction back to here, it's likely to move up here still on the finality move. That's just echoing this first move with the fifth wave, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth move. Now, you'd be like, well, I think that's full of garbage right there. What you're saying, JT, that's cool. Now, let's go look at something else briefly. Trying to remember which one I wanted to use. Had it in my mind. I think it's this one. Look over here. This will move up. Rip. And it went from 31 cents, $3. And then it's been kind of sideways choppy since then. Lots of sideways choppy. And even crushing back down near 30 cents. Here's one we can talk about. Look at this over here. Look at the initial move. Crazy double top and then down. Even Doge did this kind of move. Go look at Doge. We had a long build up. And then shot up. Then we've gone into this consolidation. Could we shoot up again? We could. There you go. I'm not going to reply while I'm online, Rosalind. But while I'm on the live stream, I don't even have Discord where I can reply. So be careful out there. Not another one. Look. This one has a very... Maybe we're still working on that initial move. Then we get the correction. Opportunity here. There's not enough chart to really do it. This is a coin with utility for Telegram. How high are we going? I don't know. Could it fail and go to zero? Absolutely. Could it be a complete scam? It's possible. So there's new coins hitting the market. This one's a complete joke. They call it the meme coin killer, the ultimate meme. If you don't even understand any of that, don't get involved. Don't put your money here. All right? Don't do it. No FOMO. Even though this is a giant market, don't have fear of missing out. All right? There's no reason. If you don't like it, don't freaking trade it. Just don't. That's what I'm going to leave you with. Remember, it's your money. Nobody's watching out for your money but you. I'm serious. Nobody cares about your money more than you do. If you don't care about your money, if you like, I'm just going to let some guy do it for me, you're not going to do as good as you possibly could do, because nobody, it doesn't matter how much you pay them, cares about your money more than you do. All right? I'm going to wrap this up here. Thanks for coming today. I'm going to go get into some other stuff today. I'll be back with you first thing tomorrow, 9:15, Morning Monster. We'll do it all again. Actually go through what's moving today.